The Cleveland Guardians projected wins 79.9, and they won the division last year. So that is pretty crazy. 92 wins, 69 losses. You got J-Ram, who had a ridiculous year, almost went 40. Made a video on him on the main channel. You should go check it out. You should definitely go check it out. But 39 doubles, 39 homers, 41 stolen bases, and fifth in the MVP. That just is crazy to me, how that sort of season is fifth MVP, did win a Silver Slugger, OPS plus of 143, OPS of 872. He just does it every year. Steven Kwan had a ridiculously good year too. He keeps improving every season. 126 OPS plus. David Fry kind of came out of nowhere. 804 OPS. You did lose Josh Naylor, traded to the D-backs for Slade Ciccone. I don't understand that trade. I really wish they would have kept him. Big Christmas, John Kenzie Noel put up a 115 OPS plus. He kind of came out of nowhere too. Only 22 years old. I hadn't heard much about him until he kind of came up and was mashing homers against the Yankees in the playoffs. Maybe homer, I don't know how many he hit, but that one he did hit was kind of nuts. It was great. Who did they lose? Who did they bring in? Let's check it out. The Guardians, man, they just keep doing it year after year. They lost Matthew Boyd. They did re-sign Shane Bieber and Austin Hedges. They lost Alex Cobb, Carlos Carrasco, Scott Barlow, James Karinchak, and I did not know until right this second that Noah Syndergaard was a part of the Guardians at any point in any sort of fashion. That's kind of wild to me. You brought in Carlos Santana to replace Josh Naylor. Sneaky underrated move, even though Carlos Santana is about to turn 39. Sneaky underrated move. You brought Luis Ortiz from the Pirates. They also did re-sign Shane Bieber. You brought in Paul Sewald, and you brought in Jacob Junis. You brought in John Means as well. You brought in John Means. They actually have a lot more starting pitching depth than I thought. Now, Shane Bieber and John Means are going to start off on the IL. John Means had Tommy John in June of last year. We all know Shane Bieber had Tommy John early in the season last year. He never really had a chance to get it going, but he was looking dominant when he did pitch last year. I mean, dominant. 0 ERA, 2 starts. Okay, so very small sample size, but 12 innings pitched, 20 strikeouts. And I thought he was kind of declining. I looked at his baseball savant, which does not make me a savant, but it looked like it was trending downwards. But man, 0.7 WAR in 2 starts. Man, I would love nothing more than for him to find this form and bring it in 2025 when he does come back, whenever that is going to be. But also David Fry had surgery on his elbow in late October. So a couple guys on the injury list, but I still think this is a very good team. And now I think you look at the lineup, you got Steven Kwan leading off, Jose Ramirez, who's year after year an MVP candidate, Kyle Manzardo. What does he bring? I know they have big projections for him. They're really hoping he kind of is another power bat they can add in that lineup. You got Carlos Santana, who had a really good year last year, Lane Thomas, who had a very disappointing year, Will Brennan, Bo Naylor behind the dish, who I would love to see him improve as well. I know Gabriel Arias, slated as their second baseman, did lose Andres Jimenez in a trade to the Toronto Blue Jays. I think. I believe so. Yes, that is correct. So maybe Gabriel Arias can take a step forward offensively, provide offensively what Jimenez didn't. But Jimenez, one of the best fielders in general in the game, he won the Platinum Glove for second baseman. So as far as second baseman goes, he is the best defensively for sure. Brian Rocchio at shortstop. Now, I really like the top 4 dudes in this lineup. I do think that it tapers off or falls off a little bit after Lane Thomas, Will Brennan, Bo Naylor, Gabriel Arias. They do have promise, but I don't know if they're going to really do well or as well as we expect or want. I know John Kenzie Noel is slated to start on the bench. Maybe he is in the DH spot. Maybe the DH is going to be kind of a platoon, Kyle Manzardo. And Indians fan, or geez, I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I said Indians. Guardians fans, let me know, is Manzardo healthy right now? I thought I saw that he was hurt I thought I saw that he was hurt with something. But where the Guardians' strength lies is not with their offense, who I still think can be good. It just sucks that they couldn't hold on to Josh Naylor and bring in Carlos Santana to maybe DH a little bit. I don't know how that would work with Kyle Manzardo, what he plays on defense. I know he's first baseman, the primary first baseman. He's a primary first baseman. That's what I'm trying to say. But I think where their strength lies, excuse me, throat's getting a little sore. I have not talked this much in a 45-minute span in a very, very long time. I'm out of practice. Rotation: Tanner Bybee, Ben Lively, Gavin Williams, Luis Ortiz, and Tristan McKenzie right now. As I talked about earlier, you got Shane Bieber and John Means on the IL, who can play major parts through a rotation when healthy. We all know that, especially Shane Bieber. Tanner Bybee, I think he's a great pitcher. I don't know if I'd want him as the number 1 on my team, but I think he's a great number 2. And if he's the number 3, it means you got a great rotation. Ben Lively had a really strong season last year, 3.81 ERA and 151 innings pitched. Gavin Williams, I know they think very highly of him, as do I. Did not have a full season last year, 4.86 ERA over 76 innings pitched. Luis Ortiz, brought over from Pittsburgh. I don't know who they traded to get him. I don't remember. Please someone tell me. And Tristan McKenzie, who has had his fair share of injuries thus far in his short career. I like this rotation. Especially, I like it more with the thought that Shane Bieber will be back at some point. I like it even more with the thought of John Means being back at some point. They have a lot of starting pitching depth, assuming those two come back healthy. Luis Ortiz had a sneaky good year last year, and from what I've heard, don't quote me on this, take this at face value, Tristan McKenzie, who had a dreadful year when he did come back, he's pumping like 98 now, 97 on the gun, which I don't remember seeing and I don't remember hearing. So maybe he has the potential to come back strong. Let's see what he has done in his career. I know he's he's not old, but he is going to be 27, and it feels like we haven't seen a full season from him ever, which would be wrong because I'm staring at one from 2022 where he put up a 2.96 ERA over 191 and a thirds inning with a FIP of 3.59. That's a very strong season. If he can get back to that, that would be fantastic. He looked really bad last year, and I really just want him to return healthy. I mean, I assume that he was just not all there last year as far as health goes. I kind of want to check out his Savant. Oh my God, he was averaging 91.1 on his fastball last year. So if that is true and he's averaging 97, 98 on his fastball in spring, that could be a huge difference. What was he doing in 2022? 92.5. I'm actually going to look at Twitter real quick. I'm going to see if I can find this. Tristan McKenzie. What are we talking about? What is he doing? It looks like I can't really find it. But wait, hold on a second. I might have it. So I see this start against Cincinnati late February 22nd. Looked like his four seam was averaging 94. So maybe not 97, but that is a hell of an increase. That's a very big increase from 91.1 last year. So hopefully there is something there. And let's take a look at the bullpen, who is ridiculous top end of the bullpen. You got Clase, who I haven't even mentioned yet. He was arguably had one of the best seasons you can have as a closer. Top ranked relief pitcher according to Fangraphs. 2.2 WAR in 74 and a third innings pitched, 47 saves, a 0.61 ERA, 0.61. I believe he came in third in the Cy Young race. I believe 4.4 WAR for B WAR, 47 saves, a 0.659 whip. I mean, that is just unreal numbers. And the FIP was 2.22. I mean, that is crazy. Third in Cy Young, 11th in MVP. Just insane. 1.2 walks per nine, 0.2 homers per nine, 4.7 walks per nine. That's unbelievable. This bullpen, you get it to the sixth inning, and you got Clase, K. Smith, and Hunter Gaddis just shoving at the back end of the bullpen, and it does kind of fall off a little bit. I mean, Tim Herron's great too. Paul Sewald can be great. He is getting up there in age. And then Andrew Walters, Doug Nikhazy, I believe you say that is how you say that. But even if you got a couple guys that are just primarily innings eater, if you can just get to the playoffs, have one of your starters get it to the sixth or fifth or sixth, past the fifth to the sixth. Game's over. Game's pretty much over most of the time. So that is just a ridiculous bullpen. I think their main weakness for the Guardians is their offense in the latter half of the lineup. And I mean, Lane Thomas has done it before. He's had a good year. Who's to say he can't do it again? Who's to say Kyle Manzardo isn't that next big power bat that they've been looking for in that lineup? Jose Ramirez, I mean, is he going to win an MVP someday? I think he can, but it's going to be difficult. I think you can pencil him in for a top 5 MVP again. You just can't go wrong with that. However, when it comes to the 79.9 wins for PECOTA, I'm going to go with the over. I don't think this team got that much worse. They won 92 games last year. I don't think they got 12 games worse. I just don't think they did. I'm going to go with the over